Hey guys, welcome back to AFK Journey. In today's video, we're talking hero focus. I made my last video on the exclusive equipments, and the first thing I got questions about was the hero focus. So I want to talk about this, my sort of quote-unquote rules around it on what I personally do, but this is going to be more from a free-to-play / low spender perspective, because that's when you're going to be starving for these materials a bit more. Also, apologies, I am away, so I'm in my hotel room, so apologies if there's any issues with the audio or anything like that, but let's get into it. Now, the first thing I want to take note of is with the hero focus. If we go to a character that I haven't done yet, for instance, you can see that it costs 10 to upgrade the first time, and then you can see that it costs over here 20 to upgrade the second time. So it only requires 30 of the, what are these ones called? The blue ones, essentially. Whereas you doing your exclusive equipment up to level 5, which is where you unlock the level 2 skill, is 150. So you can essentially get 5 heroes maxed on their hero focus for the same cost that it takes you to get one character to +5 exclusive equipment. So it is a lot cheaper. So that leads me into my first thing, which is early on before you have any Mythic Plus characters, because the question becomes, do you do exclusive equipment or do you do hero focus? Now, early game, I went for the characters that I use a lot. I decided just to dump it straight into them because I'm getting high value at them. For me, the two main ones were Cecilia and Odie. As soon as I got those two to Legendary Plus, I went ahead and upgraded their hero focus. It honestly wouldn't even matter what their hero focus is. These two are my, like, for the early progression until you start getting those Merrilees, Corrins, and stuff like that, they are my main damage dealers in all the bosses. Cecilia is my main carry in absolutely everything. Odie I also use in campaign and AFK stage pushing, even though he's not Mythic Plus yet. So these two characters were absolute no-brainers. Now, a bit of attack speed may not seem crazy, but it is nice. And once again, in the early stages of the game, when you unlock Legendary Plus on these characters, you're probably not going to have Mythic Plus characters to be competing with them for this resource usage. Now, that does change later on, and I'll talk about it. But I think basically for me, any character that you're using a lot and has high value for you, I think it's worth it. And I'll talk about why I haven't upgraded my Smokey and Thorin to the next level in a minute. It's because my account is suffering from success, and it's been so lucky that I'm so close to so many Mythic Plus characters, which means I want to save those resources. So as soon as I hit Mythic Plus on those characters, I want to have enough to unlock their exclusive equipment to the point that is functional for me personally. So that's the only reason I haven't upgraded these. If I wasn't, if I didn't have Smokey and Cecilia at Mythic Plus, then Odie, Thorin, and Euron all one copy away, or basically one copy away from Mythic Plus. Odie, I just need the shop refresh, but that's about it. So I think it's fantastic to go ahead early game before you're getting Mythic Pluses to go ahead and get them. Now, once you're getting close to a Mythic Plus character is when I would hold out a bit, keeping in mind that for this, and also my account has got a lot more resources of these as well because I am on a newer server and I'm still competing in the bosses, so I'm getting more of these on the daily resets as well. Just take note of that. But basically, if you look here, once again, to unlock a character's +5, you need 150 of the blue ones and you need 75 to get +10 of the gold ones. So you can see here that I'm pretty close to getting enough to have 2 characters to +10 because all I need is another 30 blues and another 15 of the golds. And that is why I'm currently saving and not investing into the next leg up on my Smokey or my Thorin, because I'm very close and I don't want to be getting these characters to Mythic Plus without being able to upgrade them. Now, I'll talk about more characters to upgrade in a minute, but that's my key thing here. And keeping in mind, Thorin unlocks his big increase at +5. So all I need is these ones. I don't need to use the gold ones, but then I've got Odie and Euron that want these. So essentially, I really want to be sitting at around 150 at around 450. I want to be sitting at around 450 title essence, and around, what's that, 150, 225 of the, I don't know, 150 of the gold ones, because once again, Thorin doesn't need it. So that's where I want to be, and because I've got 3 characters so close to Mythic Plus, now I am not upgrading my hero focus so that I can get all those guys upgraded to the point of functionality as fast as I can. So that is what I'm doing there. So that's my rule. Make sure once you're close to Mythic Plus on characters, that's when you start hoarding these, so that once you need their, because the big thing is hero focus versus exclusive equipment, is that you get core functionality out of these characters with their exclusive equipment. When we look at Iron, we get the ability to, get the extra immobilization, which is actually huge when using him. Honestly, it's not as big for me right now as Hero Focus, and I could probably forego Iron to upgrade the Hero Focus on the units I use at the moment because I don't have the rest of the Iron team at the moment. But when we take a look at Thorin as well, you can see at +5 over here, this is where we gain his big effect. Whereas you can see 25% of the damage dealt by the ally linked with Thorin is going to heal him. I can't read from here. The camera's got a long scope, so I'm struggling to actually read my computer, so I do apologize. But like Thorin's got a big one there. So I want to unlock those key effects. Past that, I think you're pretty safe to go ahead and upgrade your hero focuses because like I said, on characters you use all the time, these are going to be fantastic. So let's go through some characters. Cecilia, honestly, no brainer if you're using her as your main carry because you use her everywhere for like the first 3 weeks of the game, even beyond that. But for the first 3 weeks, you get your free copy from the first temple, you get 2 copies from the arena shop. If you pull one copy, like your Cecilia is beefed up, just get this thing and she will give you work. Once again, it only costs 30 of them, so it's not the end of the world. As we look through other characters, Smokey, attack on Smokey is great. Increases his healing output. I think it's fantastic. Once again, I told you guys why I've stopped investing into him because my account is suffering from success and I got so many things that I want to upgrade. And once again, I would upgrade this before I get him to +5 because +5 is a 150 investment and I don't see his +5 or his +3 +5 or +10 as like a must-have thing, but this is really nice and it's so cheap. Like 20 on that to get that extra attack, or I'm going like so deep to get an effect that's, kind of more niche on him. So, once again, you got to, it's also the value proposition of cost versus what you get for it. So Smokey's a definite one. If you get him to Legendary Plus and you're not close to Mythic Plus on characters, go ahead, upgrade him. Odie, once again, another one, fantastic. Attack speed, once again, you're going to use this guy everywhere. He's the first one I recommend most people get from the shop. And once again, if you're using a different unit because you're playing for fun and you're doing something else, if it's a unit you're using all the time, go nuts. Next one, Thorin. This is a no-brainer to me as well. Extra energy regeneration is going to be fantastic for him. His ult is amazing. It does so much damage. Even if he, once you get him to I think it's 111 or something like that, it'll even fire off if he dies. So you're getting guaranteed damage out of it. Thorin's just, and you use him everywhere. Use him bossing, use him campaign. He's just amazing. So yes, do Thorin. Coco, yes. The reason I haven't upgraded my Coco is because Coco is an interesting case. Because Coco's main, she does have obviously very heavy campaign AFK stage pushing usage, but Coco is so valuable in bosses, and with Coco, any bit of haste or attack speed is going to modify when she is using her ultimate, and her ultimate timing is so pivotal. And so what I'm doing is I unlocked her hero focus, and now I'm just testing her on each boss as I go, and I will upgrade this one, ignoring my other rules if I think that haste will modify her ult to make it save me from a big AoE wipe. For instance, if we look at this boss, it's got the big AoE damage that you really need Coco's ultimate to be up for it. Now, previously, before I had Coco at Legendary Plus, the way you could play around this was putting Coco in your quote-unquote back position and then having the attack speed artifact on because it would modify when she uses her ultimate. But now I've got that haste, I don't need to use it as much, but I'm testing her until she falls into a place where, okay, the timing is off, then I will get that extra haste and then adjust it from there. It's just very interesting because I'm trying to push ranks in bosses. I'm being very finicky with my Coco, but in general, haste is a good one. You just upgrade it. But that's my reason for not upgrading Coco yet. Eventually, she will be maxed out. Then we've got units like Iron. Now, these units, once again, because Iron is going to be a pivotal unit, it almost doesn't matter what it is. Now, the other thing is, Iron is going to be a pivotal unit, but I don't use him yet. Once I start using him heavily, I just upgrade this. I don't even really care what it is because he is a very valuable unit. Lucky it is an effect that really does help him in his role that he is doing because it's helping to protect him. But I am not, even though I know Iron's going to be an amazing unit, I don't use him yet, so I'm not upgrading it. Once I get his exclusive equipment, and that's when I start using him, but I've also got to have my Carolina built up, and I've got to have a team for him. So once I've got that team for Iron, then I go ahead and beef him up, 100%. Merrily is another one that once you start using her, yes, this is an absolute no-brainer. You get the extra crit damage boost. Are you kidding me? Merrily is absolutely amazing. But I'm waiting for Mythic Plus before I get my Merrily up there and do that, because that is when I'm going to start getting more heavy usage out of her. I may even upgrade this and test her right now in bosses. I think maybe Necro Drakon, she might do a little bit better than my Odie at this stage, but I'm also questioning it because without this, she does horribly, even though she has the movement mechanic compared to Odie. So I'm not too sure whether I will do this one early, but once again, once you start using the character, that is when you upgrade them. So Merrily, as soon as I start using her, she gets insta upgraded because she's a fantastic character. She's going to be like one of your #1 bossing units. So you just do that. Damien's one doesn't really stress me as much, but he's more about his Mythic Plus. So I'd be focusing on some of these other units before you focus on Damien. His haste is his big thing here. He doesn't actually deal a ton of damage. Yes, we do have his healing as well, but in general, this one is one of those ones where I'm not too fussed on personally. I'd rather focus on other things and then getting exclusive equipments, but his exclusive equipment is what we really want to unlock. Nero, I'm not going to focus on. Once again, haste is really good here on Viperion, but I don't really use Viperion, so I'm not going to do it. Who else can I look at that is, because I don't want to go through every character. Okay, Corrin, once again, another character. It's got haste. Haste is fantastic. Corrin is amazing once you get him to Mythic Plus. You do this. You do this one, okay? That's it. And then it comes down to other characters you use. So if we look at Shakir over here, I mean, Shakir's isn't like... I think Shakir's is actually big for where you use him. So once again, it's another one. If you've got him, if you're using him, it comes down to that case again of if you're using him. I don't use my Shakir enough. So even if he was a Legendary Plus, I wouldn't upgrade him. Because at this stage, until I get much higher investment, because I have all my other characters so highly invested, I'm not really going to get that bang for my buck out of Shakir. So that's kind of why I'm avoiding it. But that is like my basic principle that I go on. Basically, the kind of rules that I apply are, one, if it's a character you use all the time, it's probably going to be a good investment. Remember, you can do 5 characters hero focus for the cost of 1 character's plus 5 exclusive equipment. And in the early game, you don't know where your RNG is going to take you. You don't know how quickly you're going to get those Mythic Plus characters. So upgrading those core characters like Cecilia, like Smokey, like Odie, like Thorin is just going to be a safe investment for most people. Now, the other thing is, once again, once you start getting close to those Mythic Plus, that's when you got to start thinking about hoarding this resource so that you can get those core effects that characters want from their Mythic Plus. The next 2 I am absolutely no-brainer on upgrading are going to be Odie and Thorin. Thorin to plus 5 exclusive equipment, Odie to plus 10. Now, after that, Iron is another one I will do, but once again, it's not as urgent to get Iron to his plus 10 exclusive equipment. He gets enough functionality out of unlocking it, and I don't have the team built up. So maybe once I get to above 300 on these, which will get me my Smokey and, my Odie and my Thorin's exclusive equipment where I want them, that is when I will start using them again on my hero focus. And then those heroes I will upgrade will be, first of all, Smokey. Second of all, Thorin. I'll get their second upgrade on these. Then I'll look to characters like, once again, Coco. I explained my situation there. And those are the main characters that I'm looking at the moment. And then it also will adjust as we move forward. Once again, that Merrily, that Corrin being very vital ones as well. And then, I mean, we can expand these and talk about characters as characters come out. We do character guides as well. But once again, if it's a character you use a lot, you're going to get value out of it. So don't be too scared to do it. Even if you're just doing like what I did, which was just getting the first upgrade, which only costs you 10 on some key characters when you're also trying to save so you can get those upgrades. That's also an option. But that is my take on hero focus. Once again, always keep in mind that yes, it is versus exclusive equipment, but the value proposition is very different when you're looking at a 30 cost to max it out as opposed to that 150 cost to get to plus 5 exclusive equipment. Anyway, guys, that is going to be it for this one. As always, thanks for watching. I hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.